Alright, guys, so this is going to be my my next Q&A. As you can see, the next one is all about Venom. I want to thank everyone who sent in questions from the Q&A that was posted over on Patreon, and as always, if you'd like to be part of said Q&As, hit the link below, head on over there, hit the second tier. That'll allow you access to all the videos exclusively on Patreon, as well as whenever I do the next Q&A prelude, which basically is like the video like, hey, here's the next topic for the next Q&A. So yeah, I'm going to be doing all about the Lethal Protector himself, so let's get started. Starting off with David Deister, who asks, what would a Has-Been Hotel, Hell of a Boss, and Venom crossover be like? Chaos. Just absolute 100%, total 100% fucking chaos. That's all I can really say. That's all I can say. Thank you for that question, David. Moving on now to Tom Hibbert, whose first question is, do you feel like Carnage would be a good villain for the Suicide Squad? Yeah, I could see it. I could honestly see Cassidy being a good villain for the Suicide Squad, if not someone Waller would want to use in the Suicide Squad. So, yeah, I could totally see it. Second question. What are your thoughts on Tony Todd's performance as Venom in Marvel's Spider-Man 2? Absolutely loved it. It is a great voice. I think it's a great performance. I think it is a phenomenal... just gives Venom this deep, resonating voice, but also just has that sinister feel to it. It's really good. Like, I really hope he comes... Tony Todd... I mean, it's Tony fucking Todd. It's the Candyman, guys. Like, there's no doubt in my mind that he wasn't gonna kill it. Like, that moment where he does the line in the teaser where it was like, yes, we will. And I'm like, yeah, he's gonna fucking kill it as Venom. And sure enough, he absolutely rocks it as Venom. The only problem is, I wish we had more time with him. Like, I really wish we got more time with Todd as Venom in the series, in the game. Like, I really wish there was more with that. Yeah. So, there you go. And your third question is, how would you... do you find it funny that the concept of the symbiote making the user more aggressive was introduced in Spider-Man, the animated series, while in the original Black Suit Saga, the symbiote didn't make the user more aggressive instead of taking the host on joyrides? Feels weird the concept wasn't from the comics. Yeah, I feel like... the aggression thing was, that, for those who don't know, the aggression thing from the symbiote didn't come originally from the comics. It came from the animated series, and because the animated series was so popular at the time, and because it was the 90s and all, they kind of put that in with the comics. So that was kind of the thing, because Venom was becoming a more popular character. So they kind of retconned in, it was like, oh, it was making Peter aggressive and whatnot. When... in reality, no, the symbiote was just taking Peter on a joyride and, like, just web-slinging along. Now, I'm sure... is it a better idea than just having, like, oh, it's just taking my body out and using it however? Yeah, it's a it makes better sense, but, like, it's an... I think people forget that that's where it came from. But, yeah. I think they need... like, I think they realized also... and this is just I think this is just a personal theory I have, is that one of the reasons why they retconned in the aggression thing from the animated series was because, really, he just got freaked out that the costume was just wearing him like a suit, like just taking him out and web slinging. Like, that was really it. Come on, guys, we gotta have a better reason why Peter got rid of it. So there you go. Anyway, so thank you for those questions, Tom. Moving on now to Hunter Johnson, whose first question is, what if Venom was a slasher villain? You see, the thing of it is that he kind of is already. Like, that's kind of the big deal, is that Venom is already like a slasher villain. He's just he's kind of already that. He's already on the slasher spectrum. Whether it be as the Lethal Protector. I mean, hell, his first full appearance in Venom number 300. Spider-Man number 300. he's kind of a slasher in there. Like, he's stalking Peter in his full life, even in the build-up, like, all the issues leading up to his big reveal in issue 300, he's kind of, like, fucking with Peter, just kind of little things, like, pushing him into it, nearly killing him by pushing him into a train, and Peter, like, what the fuck was that? Scaring Mary Jane half to death to the point where Peter has to put on, has to give up the black costume. He got his own black costume after, he gave up the symbiote. He was like, I still like the black and white costume. I'm going to roll with that for a while. And so, yeah, he kind of already was. Second question. Do you think a fight between Superman and Venom... Do you think the fight between Superman and Venom in that one DC Marvel crossover was terrible? If I was wondering what Hunter means by that, the fight in question... there was a fight between Superman and Venom in the Marvel DC crossover All Access, which was the sequel to Marvel vs. DC. And yes, that fight is garbage, because at no fucking point throughout the entire goddamn thing, at no point during that entire fucking fight does Superman do the smart thing and just blast Venom with his heat vision and burn the symbiote off of Eddie. That's literally how that fight should have ended. The symbiote, yeah, Venom's not even on the same power, like strength as Superman. I mean, could he take a few punches from Superman? Yeah, the symbiote would probably protect him, but I'm sure Eddie's going to be feeling those bruises. And I know what you're thinking, oh, but Venom fought Juggernaut. Yeah, but at the same time, he had, in Venom the Madness, it got weird of how he beat Juggernaut. That's a weird-ass comic. Anyway, but yeah, the whole time I'm thinking, why doesn't Superman just blast him with the heat vision and be done with it? Anyway, so there you go. Third question. What if Venom was a Sailor Moon villain? Which Sailor Guardian would he target? Probably Usagi herself. I don't see him as a credible threat. It's kind of like the same reason with the Superman thing, where it's like, Usagi or any of the Sailor Guardians can just blast him and he's over. Like, he's not on the same level of power as the Sailor Guardians are. I think people forget how powerful Usagi and the rest of this, especially Usagi, is. I know a lot of people like to make fun. It's like, haha, she's such a coward and a wuss and whatnot. She whines about everything. No, the bitch can literally rewrite reality if she wants to. So yeah. Anyway, so thank you for those questions, Hunter. Moving on now to my good friend, the Mount Vernon kid. Chris, what's up? First question. Symbiotes have two major weaknesses, sonics and fire. Which one would you keep and which would you throw away? Well, I think in the comics they've kind of thrown away the fire weakness, right? Because of the whole null thing. So I think they've given up the whole fire thing. Sound is cool. Like, I like the idea of, like, sound still being a weakness. So I'm going to roll with getting rid of fire, because that way, with sonics, you got to be really creative on how to beat the symbiote. So, yeah, I'm going to go with sonics. Probably because it's already been a thing. Like, I think they've given up on the fire weakness as of late, since King in Black. Second question. Which Spider-Man animated series had the best Venom? Ooh, that's a good question. Which Venom was which animated series had the best iteration of Venom? Now, yes, it's easy to say that Venom in the 90s cartoon was cool. That's how we all know him. Don't lie. That's how you... like 60% of everyone watching this probably saw Venom on the animated show before they read the comics. Like, myself included. Anyway, but here's the thing. That Venom is cool and all, but it doesn't hold a fucking candle to Spectacular Spider-Man's Venom. That one, you understand why Eddie became an asshole, but not only that, that Eddie was terrifying. Like, when he lived up to how Venom was in the original comics. In fact, like, Eddie... There's even a moment where Eddie's pretending to be Spider-Man and going around, like, trying to frame Spider-Man. You'd think that would have been a thing in the original comics, but no. Greg Weisman literally went, nah, I'm going to do this as, like, I'm going to make it like Eddie... Because Eddie wouldn't think of that. Like, I think that would be the case of trying to masquerade as Spider-Man. So I dug that. I also just love how like scary he is, stalking Peter to the point of like paranoia. So animated series was good, but Spectacular Spider-Man, as with all things Spider-Man animated, did it better. So there you go. Third question. Can we give Flash Thompson his flowers? He was a damn good host as Venom. Absolutely. I still hold that Flash Thompson is the best Venom. You know, Eddie Brock's Eddie Brock, and I like what they... And I've only started liking Eddie as Venom since the Donny Cates run. Like, looking back on those old 90s comics, and those old... Like, yeah, Eddie's just a goddamn idiot, and a lot of those Venom comics are pretty garbage. But... when you Venom, you can see why people forgot, like only thought of Venom as a cool image. But then we got to Flash Thompson, who no one had a lot of faith in, and then lo and behold, Flash Thompson gives like nuance to the symbiote. I really want to collect and I know it's like modern collections, but I want to collect the entire. Like I know they got these trades, but they're so fucking expensive. I really, and I do stress really, want to collect the Rick Remender, Cullen Bunn era of Venom, because it gave new nuance for Flash Thompson. It gave new stuff for this Venom symbiote. It was really cool. You can see why people still talk about Agent Venom to this day. So yeah, give him his damn flowers already. That's my answer. So thank you for that question, Chris. Moving on now to Christopher Rosa, who asks, if you made a Venom crossover with X-Men, how would it go? I kind of like. There's already been a Venom X-Men event by Cullen Bunn called Poison X. It wasn't great. So how would I do like a second Venom X-Men team up? Like how would I do that? I think what I'd like to do with with that crossover is maybe involve the Brood, and maybe have it that they've been infected with symbiotes, something like that. Or have it, here's another way, and I think this would be more clever. Have it that like the Friends of Humanity or another like anti-mutant group have collected symbiotes and are trying to make symbiote sentinels. Like have it like use symbiotes and augment it in a way kind of like Stark's superior Iron Man armor. If you guys remember that era, where it was like a techno-organic symbiote, and instead it makes like a symbiote sentinel around the wearer. And Venom and the X-Men have to stop them, yeah. I'll go with that one. Fuck, the Brood one's kind of obvious, but let's go with symbiote sentinels. Second question. Do you think Venom works better as a villain or anti-hero? Or, hero, villain, or in between? Honestly, I think I like villain symbiote Venom, but I think we've moved past that, and even the comics have moved past that. So anti-hero, but not superhero, like, oh, I don't kill. Yeah, let's keep him in the anti-hero, level. Let's keep him in that anti-hero kind of spectrum, shall we? I think that's the best option for the character. That's just me, though. And your third question is, who's your favorite Venom supporting character? You see, the thing of it is that when you talk about Venom's supporting cast, he doesn't really have one. He doesn't really have much of one. I mean, he had his alcoholic, abusive father, his wife who killed herself because she was driven mad by seeing Venom, his son, who's now becoming a villain. I think that's how they're going to do, because we're building up to this thing called Venom War later this year. And what it is like Dylan and Eddie are warring it out. So I think how it's going to end... And Dylan's already been showing some villain tendencies lately, because I don't think anyone knows what to fucking do with that character now that Donny Cates is off the book. But I think what they want to do is have the cake and eat it too moment, where you have anti-hero Venom, which is Eddie Brock. We keep him anti-hero, but we now have a villain Venom that we can play with. So, I'd say Dylan, probably because of what they, that's the closest I got, really. And then, so there you go. Thank you for those questions, Christopher Rosa. Moving on now to Imagine 8. who asks, what would you do if you possessed the Venom symbiote? Horrendous shit. I'm not even gonna lie to you guys. Like, I would do horrendous shit with the symbiote. I would go around eating people. Like, not like normal people, like go around like to random citizen, like, ooh, baby. Probably people who deserve it. You know, some asshole giving a white supremacist speech, jump in and be like, brains, and just eat his fucking head, scare all his little minions everywhere, and then they start hunting them down. I would do horrendous shit to people with the symbiote. But again, only people who deserve it. So I'd go full lethal protector rather than just Eddie, who's just like, I'm gonna scare you. No, I'm gonna legit fucking eat you. Like, I'm just gonna use I'm just gonna use the Venom symbiote and fucking eat you. Anyway. So, thank you for that question. Second question. The original plan for the climax fight in Spider-Man 3 was for the symbiote to use Eddie's lifeless skeleton as a puppet. Do you think they should have gone with this idea to add more horror to the movie? I thought it was dumb. I thought that idea of making Eddie a skeleton was just kind of stupid, because it, like, you know, that would be the case. Like, if they went ahead and made, like, the symbiotes, like, sucking life out of you, you know Marvel would use that as a retcon from then on out. And it would just make things harder. Like, it would just make things a lot harder. So, I am glad they didn't do the whole sucking the life out of Eddie thing. But that's just me. And your third question is, out of all the cartoon movies and video game appearance, what is your favorite Venom character design? Out of, like, movies, cartoons, stuff like that. Video game, so not comics, obviously. So not comics. That is an interesting one. I really like Venom, PS2 Venom. Not PS2. I really like the new, PlayStation Venom from Spider-Man 2. That's a really cool Venom. I really like the idea of Harry Osborn as Venom. I won't go too deep into it because I think I got a question on that later. I do like Spectacular. I will say I think my favorite iteration of Venom in anything would probably be just because of nostalgia and how one of the first times I saw the character was in PS1 Spider-Man. You guys know what I'm talking about. You know what game I'm talking about. PlayStation 1 Spider-Man. The PS1 game we all know. Yep. That's the most nostalgic for me. Anyway. Thank you for that question, Imaginate. Moving on now to Jason Voorhees 2011, who asks, if the Venom symbiote was in the DC universe, which character would it bond with? You know what, there's a lot, but really one comes to mind because it makes the most fucking sense. Guy Gardner. Guy Gardner, with it makes the most sense, because he's literally just Eddie Brock with a power ring. No, really, the meathead is a fucking, that fucking meathead is just Eddie Brock with a power ring, and also with a better moral compass, slightly. So, yeah, if anyone's gonna get bonded to the symbiote, it's gonna be Guy Gardner. There's no one else I could see as with, and people will be like, oh, but what about Joker and whatnot? No, it's Guy. It's Guy Gardner. Anyway, so think of that question. Your second question is, what's your opinion on the time Matt Gargan became Venom? Matt Gargan is Venom. Yep, that was a time when they just wanted to have villain Venom again and wanted to get rid of Eddie. And Matt Gargan, at first, having villain Venom back was cool. Excuse me. It was really cool to have villain Venom back. But on a whole, it just kind of wore itself out. He was either like acting like a coward, or because I don't think anyone knew what to do with him. I don't think anyone knew what to do with him. Like, there are so many versions of him, like he's crazy and eats people as Venom, or in the Dark Reign Sinister Spider-Man book, that book has Matt Gargan, like, intelligent and know what he's doing. In other times, he's just crazy and a coward and afraid of, like, the symbiote in other stories. So it kind of got old really fast. It's kind of I'm glad, you know, he's back as Scorpion, honestly. And your third question is, what are your thoughts on the Ultimate Universe's reinvention of Venom? You know, at first, I didn't like it. I kind of didn't like the idea of, you know, the symbiote being like a cancer prevention suit. But I got it, and like they do some neat ideas with it here and there. But it's not my favorite. I think it's just okay. I really just kind of think it's an okay sort of thing. Anyway, thank you for those questions, Jason. Moving on now to Bill McLaughlin, who asks, aside from Spider-Man, who else in Marvel do you think Venom would make a great villain for? I would say maybe Moon Knight. Maybe Moon Knight or Ghost Rider. Those are really the only ones. We go full 90s with that one. Sorry. Anyway, second question. Do you think the symbiote would fare... How do you think the symbiote would fare in the Mass Effect universe? I think it would fare pretty well. I think it could hold its own in a lot of places. I do see it like being like a thorn in the Reaper's side because they couldn't be able to assimilate it properly. But could you just imagine Krogans with symbiotes? I sure as hell wouldn't. Think of that question. Third question. What is your favorite Venom run? Well, like I just said, I think my favorite Venom run is the Rick Remender / Cullen Bunn run. Because again, it really does a lot with the character of Flash Thompson and the weight he has to deal with of being the soldier with a symbiote with a voice in his head who wants to eat and kill things. And it really evolved as a character. I also do love Donny Cates' run because it made me like Eddie Brock as a character. So there you go. Anyway, thank you for those questions, Bill. Moving on now to Alistair Bondman, who asks, what do you think of Flash Thompson? Is he a better host than Eddie? Yeah. I already talked about it, so I'm going to skip this question, but thank you. Second question. In recent years, Flash Thompson, especially in his Venom run, and Peter bury the hatchet from the schoolyard days and even refer to each other as friends. Is this something you'd like to see more in the comics, especially with Flash's anti-Venom? Oh yeah, he's aware. I think he's still aware that Peter is Spider-Man. I think it's gotten to the point where he does remember that Peter is Spider-Man after his death at the hands of the Green Goblin in like the end of Dan Slott's run. He came back and is now Agent Anti-Venom. So I think that's still a thing. I think that's definitely a thing that they do, and yeah, they've been friends. Hell, Flash was his best man at Peter and MJ's wedding. Yeah, they buried the hatchet for a long time. Third question: what do you think Venom would make of other heroic symbiote partner pairs, such as the Witchblade from Image and Jaime Reyes and Blue Beetle? I think like he'd be like, oh, you guys aren't like really close. The symbiote, the symbiote and I are like one. You guys, that's just a parasite on you. We're totally cool. I think he just talked down to him the whole damn time. Thank you for those questions, Alistair. Moving on now to Gordon Rajani, who asks, what are your thoughts on Harry becoming Venom in Insomniac Spider-Man? Were you disappointed that Eddie Brock didn't become Venom? Not really. Honestly, like the moment they said Eddie wasn't going to be, and I already knew Eddie probably wasn't going to be the symbiote. So I kind of figured at the end of that teaser, yeah, it's going to be Harry with the symbiote. That was kind of obvious. That was obvious, and it's a different universe, so I expect it. And again, not to say we could still get Eddie Brock as Venom. Like, there's still a good chance that this universe's Eddie will show up and get the symbiote. And we'll probably get it like a Venom spin-off game. Venom's too popular a character not to use. Plus, they clearly did building up with Carnage and Null. They were building up with those characters in the games. So, obviously, we're going to have to do something with that. But yeah, I liked Harry becoming Venom in this universe. It was very intimidating. It was also heartbreaking too. So yeah. Second question: what's your favorite animated? I already answered this question. Sorry, Gordon. Your third question: if the Venom symbiote ended up in the Miraculous universe, could he possess one of the Miraculous Holder? If so, which one would you pick? Probably could possess them. As to which one, I would probably say Chloe. Chloe makes the most sense. She's very Eddie Brock-esque already, so the symbiote would go to her and become, like, I don't know, Queen Venom or something. Or Venom Queen. I don't fucking know. But, yeah, definitely Chloe would be the host for the symbiote. But thank you for those questions, Gordon. Moving on now to Cyborg19.99, who asks, which anime characters would you think would bond with the Venom symbiote? Probably, I'd say Guts would be one. Guts or, I don't want to use a Dragon Ball Z character because it's too easy. Maybe Ryoko from Tenchi Muyo. That's just a few thoughts. And your second question is, how would you do a Ghostbusters Venom crossover? I think what I would do is maybe have it that a lot of, like, a lot of Venom's old enemies, like the Jury, the original Jack-o'-lantern, and people like them, have been resurrected, and the Ghostbusters have been brought back as ghosts through occult magic, and are tormenting Venom. The Ghostbusters get involved. I'm never good at these crossovers ideas right off the top of my head. I have to think on them. But anyway, so there you go, guys. That is pretty much the Venom Q&A. I want to thank everyone who sent in questions to this Q&A. And like I said, if you'd like to be part of the next Q&A, just hit the link below, head on over to my Patreon, hit the second tier, and yeah. Other than that, hope you all enjoyed this. I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in the Multiverse.